Welcome back to Coin Reveal USA, the channel where we discover interesting American coins and reveal their history and real market value. Today, we are taking a close look at a 2022 quarter with the P Mint mark from Philadelphia. This particular coin is in rusty, dirty, and heavily circulated condition, so it may look like an ordinary quarter. But before you spend it, let's take a closer look and find out what this 2022p quarter could be worth today, and what important details collectors should look for. First, there is something important to know about the 2022 quarter. Technically, this is not a state quarter. The state quarters series ended years earlier, and in 2022, the United States Mint began the American Women Quarters program. The 2022 program featured 5 different women: Maya Angelou, Dr. Sally Ride, Wilma Mankiller, Nini Otero Warren, and Anna May Wong. Each design tells a different story about an important American woman, making these modern quarters interesting to collectors, even when they are only worth face value. Now, let's talk about the P Mint mark. The small letter P tells us that this quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia has a very important place in United States coinage history. However, having a P Mint mark does not automatically make a quarter rare or valuable. Millions of 2022p quarters were produced, so most ordinary examples found in circulation are still worth about their face value of 25 cents. The condition of the coin is also extremely important. Our example is rusty, dirty, and heavily circulated. Damage, scratches, stains, and environmental discoloration can make a modern quarter look much older than it really is, but this type of damage normally does not increase the value. In fact, serious environmental damage can make the coin less attractive to collectors. So if your 2022p quarter looks rusty or worn, don't assume that the old appearance means it is rare. However, there are still reasons to inspect the coin carefully. Modern quarters can sometimes have genuine mint errors or unusual varieties. Look closely at the date, P Mint mark, lettering, rim, edge, and design details. If you notice something that looks unusual, compare it with a normal example of the same coin. Remember that scratches, dents, machine damage, and corrosion that happened after the coin left the mint are not normally considered valuable. Mint errors. Condition can become especially important when dealing with uncirculated and professionally graded examples. A normal circulated 2022p quarter may only be worth 25 cents, but an exceptionally well-preserved coin can attract much more collector interest. Professional grading companies examine coins very carefully, and extremely high-grade modern quarters can sometimes sell for surprising prices. For example, PCG's records an auction result of $2,375 for an exceptional 2022p Maya Angelou quarter graded Ms. 67+. This is a very high price compared with the coin's 25-cent face value, but it is extremely important to understand that this was an exceptional, professionally graded coin. It does not mean that every 2022p quarter is worth thousands of dollars. A rusty circulated coin is completely different from an almost perfect certified example. So let's give this coin a realistic value guide. If your 2022p quarter is heavily circulated, rusty, scratched, dirty, or damaged, the realistic value is generally around 25 cents. A nicer circulated example may still be close to face value. An attractive uncirculated example can have additional collector interest, while an extremely high-grade certified coin can be worth much more. A genuine mint error or recognized variety could also change the value significantly. One important warning for every coin collector is to avoid cleaning potentially valuable coins. You might think that removing the dirt or polishing the surface will make your quarter look better, but cleaning can leave scratches and permanently damage the original surface. If you believe you have found something unusual, leave the coin in its original condition and research it carefully before making any changes. Another great thing about these 2022 quarters is that they can be found in everyday circulation. You may find one in your pocket change, a coin jar, a cash register, or an old collection. Even if the coin is not worth more than 25 cents. It can still be a fun piece to collect, because it belongs to the first year of the American Women Quarters Program. So, is this rusty 2022p quarter a rare treasure? If it is simply a normal circulated coin with dirt and environmental damage, probably not. Its realistic value is around its face value of 25 cents. But if you discover an unusual mint error, a special variety, or an exceptionally high-grade example, then it could be a much more interesting coin to investigate. Before spending your next 2022 quarter, take a few seconds to examine it. Check the date, find the P mint mark, identify the design on the reverse, and look carefully at the surfaces, lettering, rim, and edge. Sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference in coin collecting. Next up, we have a 2022 United States quarter with the P mint mark. And this particular coin is in very bad, rusty, dirty, and heavily circulated condition. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter that has been through years of rough use. But today, we are going to take a closer look and find out exactly what this 2022p quarter is, why the P mint mark matters, and how much a coin in this condition could realistically be worth today. The first thing to understand is that this 2022 quarter is not technically part of the Old State Quarter series. It belongs to the American Women Quarters Program, which began in 2022. The program featured 5 different women during its first year, including Maya Angelou, Dr. Sally Ride, Wilma Mankiller, Nini Otero Warren, and Anna May Wong. If you have a 2022 quarter, turn it over and carefully check the reverse design to identify which American Women quarter you have. Now, let's look at the P mint mark. The small letter P tells us that this quarter was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark is an important identification detail for collectors, but it does not automatically make the coin rare. Large numbers of 2022p quarters were produced, which means that an ordinary circulated example is generally not considered a rare coin. The condition of this particular quarter is very important. As you can see, the coin is rusty, dirty, scratched, discolored, and heavily circulated. A coin in this type of condition normally does not receive a large collector premium. In fact, environmental damage and heavy wear can reduce the appeal of a modern coin. The fact that the quarter looks old does not mean that it is actually an old coin, or that it is automatically valuable. So, what is this 2022p quarter worth today? If it is simply a normal circulated quarter with heavy wear, dirt, scratches, and environmental damage, its realistic value is generally around its face value of 25 cents. The P mint mark alone does not turn this coin into a valuable rarity. You may see advertisements online claiming that similar quarters are worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, but those prices often involve exceptional high-grade coins, certified examples, or genuine errors. This is where you need to inspect your coin carefully. Look at the date, P mint mark, lettering, rim, edge, and the details of the reverse design. Search for genuine mint errors or unusual varieties. But remember, not every strange mark is an error. Scratches, dents, corrosion, discoloration, and damage caused after the coin left the mint are normally considered damage rather than valuable. Mint errors. Condition becomes much more important when you find an uncirculated or professionally graded example. Some extremely high-grade 2022p quarters have sold for much more than face value. For example, PCG's records an auction result of $2,375 for an exceptional 2022p Maya Angelou quarter graded Ms. 67+. But this is an extraordinary example and should not be compared with a rusty, damaged quarter found in circulation. If your 2022p quarter is in bad condition like the one in today's video, the most realistic value is about 25 cents. If the coin is cleaner and uncirculated, collector interest can be higher. If it has a genuine mint error recognized variety, or an exceptionally high professional grade, the value could potentially be much greater. One very important warning is that you should not clean this coin just because it is dirty or rusty. Scrubbing, polishing, or using chemicals can permanently damage the surface and may actually make a potentially collectible coin less valuable. If you believe your coin has an unusual feature, leave it in its original condition and research it carefully before doing anything. The great thing about coin collecting is that even a coin worth only 25 cents can still be interesting. This 2022p quarter is part of the first year of the American Women Quarters program, and each design represents an important American woman and her contribution to history. So even if your particular coin is not rare, it can still be a nice addition to a collection. Before you spend your next 2022p quarter, take a few seconds to examine it. Check the date, find the P mint mark, identify the woman on the reverse, and look carefully for unusual details. A badly worn coin may only be worth face value, but learning how to identify coins correctly is what makes coin hunting exciting. So, our final verdict is simple. A normal 2022p quarter in bad, rusty, and heavily circulated condition is generally worth around 25 cents. The P mint mark is important for identification, but it does not make the coin rare by itself. The real potential for higher value comes from exceptional condition, genuine mint errors, recognized varieties, or professionally certified high grades. Next up, we are looking at a 2000 United States quarter with a P mint mark. And this particular coin is in good condition. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter from your pocket change. But the year 2000 was an important year for the Washington Quarter Series because it was part of the famous 50-state quarters program. So let's take a closer look and find out what this 2000p quarter could be worth today. The first thing we need to identify is the P mint mark. The letter P tells us that this quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 2000, Philadelphia produced large quantities of state quarters for circulation, so the P mint mark alone does not make this coin rare. However, collectors are interested in identifying the exact state design, the condition of the coin, and any unusual varieties or mint errors that may be present. The 2000 state quarters included 5 different designs representing Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Virginia. Each state had its own reverse design, while George Washington appeared on the obverse. If you have a 2000p quarter, turn it over and identify which state is shown. Knowing the exact state is important because different issues can have different mintages, collector demand, and varieties. Now, let's talk about condition. The coin we are looking at today is in good condition, with visible details and signs of normal circulation. A good condition 2000p state quarter is generally not extremely valuable because millions of these coins were produced. In most cases, an ordinary circulated example is worth around its face value of 25 cents. Although attractive examples may have some collector interest depending on the exact state design. However, collectors should always inspect a 2000p quarter carefully before spending it. Look closely at the date, the P mint mark, the lettering, Washington's portrait, the state design, and the edge of the coin. Also look for unusual doubling, missing details, die cracks, off-center strikes, or other genuine mint-made errors. Keep in mind that scratches, dents, stains, and damage caused after the coin left the mint are usually not considered valuable. Errors, condition, becomes especially important when you move from ordinary circulated coins to uncirculated and professionally graded examples. A coin with sharp details, strong luster, and very few marks can be much more desirable to collectors. Some exceptional state quarters have brought significantly higher prices when they are in very high grades or have recognized varieties. But an ordinary 2000p quarter in good circulated condition should not automatically be valued at hundreds or thousands of dollars. Another important thing to remember is not to clean your quarter. Even if the coin has dirt or discoloration, aggressive cleaning can leave scratches and damage the original surface. If you think your 2000p quarter has an unusual feature, it is better to leave it in its original condition and research it carefully. So, what is a 2000p state quarter worth today? For a normal circulated example in good condition, the realistic value is generally around 25 cents. Depending on the exact state, condition, variety, and current collector demand, some examples may have a small premium. Coins with significant genuine mint errors or exceptional certified grades can be worth much more. But those are special cases. The 2000 state quarters are still interesting to collectors because they were among the early coins of one of the most popular United States quarter programs ever produced. Millions of Americans started collecting coins because of the state quarters series. And many people still enjoy completing sets today. So, before you spend that 200p quarter, turn it over and check the state design. Look at the condition, inspect the details, and search for anything unusual. You may discover that your coin is completely ordinary, but you may also find a variety or error that deserves further investigation. Next up, we are looking at a very interesting state quarter from the year 2000. This is the New Hampshire state quarter, featuring the famous Old Man of the Mountain, and our coin has a P mint mark from Philadelphia and is in good condition. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary quarter, but this coin has an important connection to American history and the famous 50 state quarters program. So let's take a closer look and find out what this 200p New Hampshire quarter could be worth today. The coin we are examining is dated 2000 and carries the P mint mark, which tells us that it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The New Hampshire quarter was one of 5 state quarter designs released during 2000. The other states represented that year were Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, and Virginia. Each state received its own unique reverse design, making the state quarters program one of the most popular coin collecting programs in United States history. The reverse of the New Hampshire quarter features the famous Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation that was once one of the most recognizable landmarks in New Hampshire. The design also includes the words, New Hampshire, 1788, Old Man of the Mountain, and Live Free or Die. The year 1788 is especially important because it represents the year New Hampshire ratified the United States Constitution and became the 9th state to join the Union. Sadly, the real Old Man of the Mountain collapsed in May 2003 after centuries of natural weathering. Today, the quarter remains a small piece of history showing what this famous landmark looked like before its collapse. This gives the coin an additional historical connection that many collectors appreciate. Now, let's talk about the P mint mark. The P tells us that this particular quarter was struck at Philadelphia. Millions of New Hampshire quarters were produced for circulation, so the P mint mark alone does not make this coin rare. However, the exact condition of the coin can make a difference. Our example is in good condition, meaning the main design details are still visible, although there may be normal signs of circulation such as small scratches, contact marks, or light wear. So, how much is this 200p New Hampshire quarter worth today? For a normal circulated example in good condition, the realistic value is generally around its face value of 25 cents. Some attractive examples may have a small collector premium, but most circulated coins from this issue are not worth large amounts of money. The P mint mark does not automatically turn the quarter into a rare or valuable coin. However, collectors should always inspect these quarters carefully. Look at the date 2000, the P mint mark, the Old Man of the Mountain design, the lettering, the rim, and the edge. You should also look for genuine mint errors or recognized varieties. An unusual feature can sometimes make a coin more interesting, but remember that scratches, dents, discoloration, and damage that happened after the coin left the mint are normally not valuable mint errors. Condition becomes much more important if you find a coin that is completely uncirculated or has an exceptionally high professional grade. Coins with sharp details, original luster, and very few contact marks can be more desirable to collectors. Some state quarters in exceptional condition or with significant mint errors can sell for much more than face value. But these are special examples and should not be confused with the normal circulated 200p New Hampshire quarter. One important rule for collectors is never to clean a potentially valuable coin. You may think that polishing the quarter will make it look better, but cleaning can leave scratches and damage the original surface. If your coin has an interesting feature, leave it in its original condition and research it carefully before making any changes. The 200p New Hampshire quarter is also a great coin for anyone building a complete state quarter collection. Because it represents New Hampshire, it is part of the group of 5 state quarters released in 2000. Collectors often try to find examples from both Philadelphia and Denver, while others look for the best condition examples they can find. The historical story behind this quarter makes it especially interesting. The Old Man of the Mountain was a famous rock formation located in Franconia Notch, New Hampshire. For generations, people recognized the shape of the rock as resembling a human face. Its image became closely associated with New Hampshire, and the phrase, "Live free or die," which is New Hampshire's state motto, also appears on the coin. So even if your 200p New Hampshire quarter is only worth 25 cents in circulated condition, it still represents an important moment in American history and the history of U.S. coin collecting. The state quarters program introduced millions of people to collecting, and these coins continue to be found in pocket change today. Before spending your 200p New Hampshire quarter, take a few seconds to examine it carefully. Check the date, confirm the P mint mark, look at the Old Man of the Mountain design, and inspect the condition. If the coin has an unusual mint-made feature, it may deserve additional research. But if it is simply a normal circulated example, its realistic value is generally close to face value. So our final verdict is that a good condition 200p New Hampshire state quarter featuring the Old Man of the Mountain is generally worth around 25 cents in ordinary circulated condition. Exceptional uncirculated coins, recognized varieties, or genuine mint errors can be worth more, but those are the exceptions rather than the rule. Thank you for watching Coin Reveal USA. If you enjoy discovering state quarters, old pennies, valuable coins, mint errors, and the history behind American money, be sure to stay connected with Coin Reveal USA. Keep checking your pocket change, because you never know what interesting coin might be waiting to be discovered. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep revealing the stories hidden inside American coins. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Coin Reveal.